All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Twigs and Rigs. My name is Jacob Golopale, and here's my co-host Solomon Thistle. Say
Yo,
hi, Solomon.
what's up, everybody?
All right, so very exciting day, first episode. Today we're gonna get into the best breakout player, best ad, best worst loss, make or break, players to watch, and the MVP for each team so far through this year. And we're going to start with the Metropolitan Division. But first, we're going to start out with some introductions. I am, as I said, Jacob Golopali. I'm a sophomore at Temple University. I played hockey growing up. You can follow my TikTok channel, Jacob G71. It's where I've gotten most of my content out and to people. We also have a YouTube channel for the same reasons. It's everything hockey. So I think if you're listening to this and you love hockey, you enjoy the content. I think we make it very entertaining, very fun, very easy to listen to, and very educational. So I'm going to turn it over to Solomon to introduce himself.
Yo, what's up, boyos? Also a junior. I'm a junior. Well, he's a sophomore. I'm a junior at Temple, sport management major. I'd never played ice hockey, but I got into it when I was in like fourth grade. Big Flyers fan. My favorite sport, easily. Love playing on my feet. Don't know how to rollerblade, but it is what it is. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk to Jacob about hockey and looking forward to comments and suggestions on what to talk about and different stuff you guys want to hear.
Absolutely. And it is a family friendly channel. But it is going to be very entertaining. I will say that. So don't think it's going to be just, very dry. It should be very fun.
Yeah.
So Solomon, get into a little bit about what we're going to be doing today.
So we're going to take a look at the Metro division. It's the division we're probably most familiar with. Our favorite teams are in it. And we're going to be looking at the MVPs for each team, the breakout, star, the best addition, their worst loss as a player, make or break player, and player to watch. So
All right. So I think we should jump right into it. Um, we should start with, let's start off with the hot team. Let's start off with a team that, people were sleeping on a lot over the last few years. The New Jersey Devils. Now, Solomon and I actually got to go watch them live at the Prudential Center last week, and it was phenomenal. Thank you to the Devils. If anybody from the Devils represent are listening, it was a phenomenal experience. We really enjoyed it. Thank you for everything. We'd love to stay in contact, and we can't wait to talk to you guys soon. Phenomenal team, Solomon. What did you take away from that game? They played the Blackhawks, shut them out. It was an absolute Harlem Globetrotter performance by them.
I don't know. I just thought it was they just know how to play as a team. Jacob, we've talked about a million times, my Flyers and how they lack so many different things. And it's just with the Devils, it's dude, you have a few guys you can give the puck to and really get an opportunity with. I mean, there are underrated guys like Eric Halla, he plays well with Jack Hughes from what I saw in that game. You still don't have Andre Palat, but this team just plays so well together. Dougie Hamilton does a great job getting involved offensively. He had a goal and 2 assists or something. Jack Hughes is crazy though. He's so dynamic. The way he skates, opens up lanes and stuff like that. I don't know. Then Nico has such a nice shot. We talked about Miles Wood. I like Miles Wood a lot, but they just play so well as a team, And then we were talking when it was 2-3-0. They were just kind of trying a bunch of fancier plays. They were moving the puck around. They weren't just ripping shots, going for rebounds and stuff. So they know what they're doing. They're just a well-oiled machine. I'm honestly surprised though with how well they're doing from this year. Because last year, it's they had most of the same guys, but then I guess you get a goalie, Vanacek, and he's playing out of his mind. So, it is what it is, but very entertaining team, to be honest.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think they're a phenomenal team of young guys, and I think that's really hard to keep track of when all these guys are still coming into their own. I'm looking at the lineup now. These are the young guys they have. They have Jack Hughes, Nico Heishier, Jesper Bratt, Dawson Mercer, Sharangovich, Woods, Zetterlund, McLeod, Ryan Graves, John Marino, Bastion, Boquist, Ball. They have Holtz. Um, Andreas Janssen. They have a lot of young talent. And the thing is, when this young talent is coming in, night out, trying new things, trying to come into their own in the league, you can't stop them when they're out there just experimenting. That's what the young guys do. And they have the endurance, they have the willingness to just try stuff. And that was very evident that they were and they understand each other so well, like you were saying. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's really impressive. So we'll jump into it now. Let's go with who was your breakout player to this point?
So breakout, I think, I don't know. We did this a little bit ago. I still didn't edit it, but as I go along, I can definitely edit.
Yeah, same.
Breakout, I think he had a good season last year, but like, I don't know. I think his importance to the team is definitely going to be like even more this year. I think Jesper Bratt.
Interesting.
I don't
Interesting.
know.
Yeah. Jesper
Like Bratt.
Bratt led their team in points last year.
Yeah.
So I was thinking him or Jack Hughes, but those guys are more, the guys that you hear about all the time, from the New Jersey
Yeah.
Devils. But yeah, no, yeah, Jesper Bratt is breaking out as he normally is. I think more breaking out to the league as being, one of those guys that you can rely on. So
Yeah.
for me, I had Nico Heishier. Now, Nico Heishier has 29 points in 28 games. Um, ever since he came into the league, everybody's been comparing him and Nolan Patrick to the guys that were drafted after him. Because of course, you have and Solomon's a little upset because his
So
boys took
annoying.
Nolan Patrick over a couple guys you may have heard of, Elias Pettersson, and currently the greatest defenseman in the league and could honestly be a top 10 defenseman of all time.
If
So
Nolan Patrick isn't a bust, Claude Drew's on the team. We made the playoffs. Just saying.
true, true, true.
Yeah.
And if you pick Kale McCarr, I guarantee you guys never even crest below the third seed. So it's rough for him. But point being, Nico Heischer has been compared to like McCarr and Patterson when it comes to, what he's supposed to live up to, especially being a first overall pick. There's a lot to live up to. And it's been a rough road, but averaging a point per game to this point, is really something that I'm looking at and thinking, wow, okay, he might be starting to come into his own. And if that's the case, they can really ride with that. With a first overall pick, obviously, he had a lot of talent, a lot of skill, a lot of moldability coming into the league. It's good for him to start coming into his own and finding a way here. And that's something that I find very interesting. So
Yeah.
next up,
Yeah.
best ad. Who do you think the best ad is?
For them, I know they added Andre Palat from Tampa Bay, and so I'm not familiar with anybody else who they added, but I think he's just the most important. He's going to be the most impactful, to be honest. I mean, they're already rolling, and has he even played a game yet? Like,
Let's see. I think he has a few points. He's played 5 games.
yeah. So I mean, wait for him to mesh into it. And it's just like another, great forward to have for secondary scoring. You can even put him in the bottom 6 because your top 6 is like so nice, and you don't want to screw up everything you have going. So it's just like another dependable guy that you can be like, all right, he's out in the ice, we can trust him and shit. So it's pretty important.
Yeah, no, for sure. He he's also a 2-time champ, you
Yeah.
know? He's a 2-time champ. So he's got a lot of experience. He's been to the cup 3 times now. So, he's got a lot of experience. He can help these young guys out, get their minds on track to what they're supposed to be, really develop them into a championship team. I think from the back end, one of those guys that comes in and has a lot of experience and can bring a team up, from the ground up when it comes to, leadership wise. Because on that team, they're very young and all their best players are young. So, they're not really led by a superstar that's older,
Yeah.
So a guy like Dougie Hamilton, he's a little older, but it it's a little different. He didn't have a whole lot of success in the two places that he was, so he's a little bit different background. But I said my best ad was Eric Holla. Now, when Solomon and I went to the game, they had moved Jack Hughes to wing, and they made Eric Holla the first line center. If they could do that, that's something that's really need to be. That's something you could really look forward to. Like that's something I find
Mhm.
very, very, very interesting. He's averaging 16 minutes a game. He's he's a very dynamic player, and the thing is, he's a great two-way player.
Yeah. He's a
It's kind of
solid
like
top six dude.
exactly. The thing is, I think a lot about what they're doing with him is a lot like what Vegas did with Chandler Stevenson. Chandler Stevenson was a third line center with the Capitals his whole career. So coming in and then being the number one guy over a guy like, William Carlson, it says something and it shows that they know something. Um, if
Yeah.
if Eric Holla can take the reins defensively and still chip in on offense with guys with his line mates, Hughes and Bratt, I think that ad will be significant for them because when Vegas picked up Chandler Stevenson, they didn't really think too much of it. So, but now look at him, so it's like it could really end up being, something great for them.
Yeah.
All right. Worst loss. Who'd you have?
So when we first did this, I thought it was like against a team, and I was like, "Oh, Capitals," because I think they got shut out or something early in the season, and I was like, "All right." But for worst loss, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would have to just go with like Zaka in the trade for Hollow, but like it doesn't, it doesn't really matter. I feel like they didn't really lose anybody that was big that at least I'm aware of at the moment.
I think Ty Smith when they traded him
Oh,
to Pittsburgh. I think Ty
right.
Smith was an interesting loss because look, Ty Smith really is one of the most creative young defensemen when it comes to skill in the league. Now, yes, he had a
Yeah.
lot of defensive problems with them, but they have defensive defensemen. They have Jonas Siegenthaler, they have Ryan Graves, Dougie Hamilton is a phenomenal defender. Who else do they have here? They got Damian Severson. They have good defensemen to where a developing young team, it's okay for a guy like Ty Smith to take risks on offense to be phenomenal. Um, and take a step back on defense when you're outscoring everybody. The defense can take a little bit of a day off every now and then. So obviously, I really, as a Penguins fan, I didn't think I said anything about that earlier, but yeah, as a Penguins fan, I'm gonna miss John Marino because he was a defensive defenseman, and that's why the Devils picked him up. But like teams are looking for a guy like Ty Smith. Like you can go out there in the market and find any guy, who can shut down people. Penguins have a guy named Chad Ruedel who's literally just a shutdown defenseman. You guys have a couple shutdown defensemen. Like
I'd
you,
say like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
you can pick them up anywhere, but you can't find a guy like Ty Smith just anywhere. That skill transcends, the league. So, yeah. Um,
yeah. That was a good
yeah.
one.
Oh, we gotta keep moving. We still got three more for this team.
Yeah.
Make or break. Who is your make or break?
My make or break is I think it's just Jack Hughes. Yeah, I think he's just the focal point of the offense. When you take him out, they still have some nice solid pieces like Heischer, Hollow we talked about. They still have Dougie and stuff, but it's just like Hughes is the guy that opens up every seam. He opens up a lot of opportunities. His passing is crazy. His shot, um, he's just so dynamic. I think the offense kind of runs through him in many ways. I mean, like it's not like they're not a team or anything. I'm just saying, like I think it kind of rides on him, and you can even say like, for goalie, you can say it rides on VTech. Like that's really important. Like this team, because like you're coming back with like majority of the same team from last year. It's just that you have a goalie that's playing well, so it's like that can also be your make or break. But I see Jack as like a focal point of the offense. I don't know.
That's very valid. That's very valid. Yeah, no, you're totally right because he's so important to the team that they had him out there for a 6-minute shift
Yeah,
very
that's
recently. So,
crazy.
yeah, that's
NHL
unbelievable.
record.
He did that. But so I see what you mean by that. He's definitely a focal point of the offense, but I think my make or break is the goaltending. Vitek Vanacek was a backup in Washington, and Mackenzie Blackwood is not looking like the guy he used to.
Mhm.
This team has studs up and down the lineup. This team looks phenomenal. Yes, Vitek's playing well, but if he doesn't keep that up, they're done. There's nothing they can do about it. They need good goaltending because the rest of the team is doing everything they possibly can. Vitek's playing phenomenal, and that's why they're getting the results. But as soon as he dips, the whole team's gonna dip. They're a young team. I don't know how well they'll do with, you know, continuous scrutiny when it comes to their scoring. They're a young team. I can totally see them getting down on themselves when they go down by like 3 early sometimes if their goaltender's having a bad game. That can really
Yeah,
ruin them, even if they do have the ability to come back. It's all about mindset with these young guys. So um, I think goaltending is going to be a make or break, especially for a young squad like that.
it's a good
Uh,
one.
player to watch. Who is your player to watch?
I think it's very interesting. So I'm gonna go with see, you can look at, Holtz. You can look at him for a player to watch, but I think it's just interesting the dynamic and like the I don't know what we know about Tomas Tatar, because it's just like I feel like he's underrated. Like I think he played well when we were there. I liked his game. He had some decent opportunities. He still has a shot on him. He's not like a dynamic guy, but it's like he's a guy that can score. He can pass the puck well, can move it. Um, I don't know. I just think that from going and being in Montreal, being benched in the Stanley Cup final, and then just like kind of being in Vegas and stuff like that, like I don't know, he's under the radar and he can play a good role. So I think that'll be interesting because I think he's maybe on the last year of his contract or something, like they maybe signed him or something. So it's like going to be interesting if he plays well. Probably going to go to make some cap room for maybe a Bill Horvat. I don't know, or like I don't know, but you know, I just think that that'd be interesting watching Tomas kind of revive
Absolutely.
himself.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I think he's flown under the radar. And just like a few years ago, this guy was making highlight reel plays in Detroit. So,
Yeah,
we still got that dog in him. We still got that dog in him. People don't know about it. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm going to go with Jaeger Sharangovich. Jaeger Sharangovich, let's see here. Has, this kid shoots everything.
Mhm.
Everything that touches this guy, he shoots. He's a great goal scorer. We were there, and at warmups, this kid was ripping bar downs every
Yeah.
shot. He was absolutely sniping it. He's a phenomenal player. And the thing is, he's so versatile. You can move him 1 through 4, literally 1 through 4 line. So
Yeah.
that's something that's very valuable. And I think that he's going to get to play with every single player on the team. He's going to get to play with everybody, being able to be versatile 1 through 4. So that means when he hits his stride, he's going to break out with no matter who's in the lineup. Despite injuries, he'll be able to stay consistent because he's been able to play with all these guys throughout the year. So no matter where they put him in the lineup, he's going to excel, making him the most consistent and the player to watch.
And I think something interesting, Andreas Janssen. I didn't even know he was on the Devils because he's only played one game this year. I forgot he was on the Devils.
Right.
He could be a player to watch too. I mean, yeah. So Tatar's got 4.5, 1 year left. They got a lot of UFAs. They got Sharon Govich, they got Halleck, they got Wood, they got Janssen, they got Tatar, they got Michael McLeod, Jesper Boquist. Oh, geez. So they're gonna Severson, Ryan Graves. They're gonna have to do a lot. So I just think it'll be interesting with all those contracts too. That's what I'm thinking.
Absolutely. And your MVP.
MVP gonna go with Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes. Okay. All
I was
right.
thinking I was thinking Brad, but I was like, you know what?
Hey, that's
I don't
exactly where
think
I was going. I had Hughes as well.
Yeah, I just think, it's just too important. With everything I said earlier, it would be
Absolutely.
kind of funny to go, oh yeah, just for Brad.
Yeah,
But
just
so yeah, I just think it's Hughes. Everything runs
got you.
through him,
Got
man.
you. So, um, All right. So now we're going to go to the New York Islanders. We also got to talk to them a good amount
Yeah,
at the
they were cool.
conference. They were phenomenal guys. I think Solomon and I can agree that they were probably the coolest people that we got to talk to there, the most down to
Yeah,
earth, nicest guys there. Joey, if you're listening to this, shout out to you, man. You really
Garrett,
yeah, and
and
Garrett.
then
And
the
sorry, what
the
you
guy
saying?
at the end, I forget his name.
Oh, we shouldn't say we forget his name. No, you were really like
I connected with him on LinkedIn though.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really nice.
Everybody that we met from the Islanders, thank you so much. It
Yeah,
was a great experience for us. You know, we were pretty nervous going into this thing. At least I was. I was very nervous, and you guys made it really easy to talk to you
yeah,
guys, and we were really glad that you were interested in us, and we can't wait to talk to you guys soon. We're really looking forward to it. We'll make it work. You know, if we can get a spot up in New York, we'll make it work. You know, we'll come out,
yeah,
we'll work for you guys. You know, we're excited for the opportunity, but let's get into it. Breakout player. We got to start moving. We spent like 15 on
yeah.
the Devils.
So breakout.
Breakout.
That's just a bad one. You go first.
Okay. I'm going to go with Noah Dobson.
Okay.
Noah Dobson
Yeah.
has been on my radar for like a year, 2 years. This kid is phenomenal. I think he's one of the better shutdown defensemen in the entire league when it comes to being a young player. And I think he's very underrated for it. This year, he's finally stepping into his own when it comes to offense. Kid's got 20 points in 30 games. Now, for a team that doesn't score a lot, this team isn't going to run you off the score sheet. This team is going to get ahead and play solid defense. For a kid like that to get 20 points in 30 games is impressive, especially, you know, New York really hasn't had a whole lot of like superstar defensemen very recently, you know, that have been able to take the reins. You know, they used to have Johnny Boychuk, who was really great, you know, Devin Tays. They've had good players, but I think Noah Dobson can develop into a superstar. I think him and Fabro are very, very similar in their play style. And I think Fabro's next year. I think Fabro's going to break out next year. I'm calling that here. Fabro's going to break out next year. But I think Noah Dobson is a phenomenal player. And I think he's my breakout player. Who do you have?
Um. Yeah, I'm good. I'm also gonna go with Dobson. And so I think I don't know a lot of these guys. It's like I'm looking at the roster and just like breakouts. Like you don't have a lot of younger guys. Maybe Alexander Romanov, but I don't think he's gonna break out this year. I think he's a player to watch. So yeah, I agree. Dobson can move the puck really well. I saw him play a few times against the Flyers, and like he's a good shutdown defenseman. He's got a good stick on him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's really good at skating.
Yeah.
The way he moves, I really like. Yeah, I'm gonna say dynamic a lot. Kind of dynamic in that way. Can open up some lanes and stuff.
For
He
sure.
kind of he's like a I guess a much less glamorous like Cale Makar in a way.
Yeah.
Like the way he skates, the way he possesses the puck, both right-handed. So it's pretty easy to compare them in a way. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
For sure. For sure. I think we're gonna stay away from loss for the rest of this. I
yeah,
feel like that's gonna be a little bit more difficult to determine. Unless there's someone of note, you know, that they lost. So we'll go best ad. Who is your best ad?
mine's got to be Romanov.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think that'll help their decor. That's kind of what they needed, I think, last year. Especially losing like Devin Tays over the past couple seasons, it kind of
Mm-hmm.
hurts them. So having a younger guy in Romanov that really helps them for the future as well. Because this team, it has a lot of older guys. It has the Parise, it has the Bailey, it has the Lee, it has the Nelson, and it's like you have Barzell locked up now. You have Dobson, you have even JG Pajot is kind of up there. You have Wallstrom, but it's like on the decor, it's important to have somebody you can look to for the next few years.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think it's very important. You know, when you guys got guys, you have guys like Pullock and Pellick. That always messes me up. Pellick and Pullock.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
when you have those two guys, they're shutdown defensemen, some of the best shutdown defensemen in the entire league. It flies under the radar how good Adam Pellick is. Um, it's you need offense from the back end. And a guy like Romanov, I think I'll agree with you on that. I think Romanov is very versatile in that sense. He can kind of do whatever they need him to. If he needs to put up points, I think he can go out there and get a bucket. But I think they don't
Yeah,
really need that out of him right now. But he could. because Noah Dobson's taking the reins. They don't absolutely need a quarterback out there from
Yeah.
him, but I think he's a phenomenal ad in the sense he can do whatever they need. You just saw him I don't know who he leveled recently. He leveled someone good too. No, he leveled Miles Wood. Like
Yeah. Wait,
a
was it
I think
was
it
it
was
Romanov?
yesterday. And then Romanov leveled him 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, you have to be a gutsy young dude to level Miles Wood.
Yeah, dude.
You
Miles was
have
a
to be.
hefty boy.
Yeah. So
I like
you
Miles.
have to be on something to level Miles Wood. So I think
Yeah.
he's definitely their best ad. I think he's going to be a great player. Now, make
Yeah.
or break. Who is their make or break?
Make or break. I'm
Yep.
gonna go with Sorokin.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I gotta go with Sorokin, man. Just because
That's yeah.
I don't know, because you have Varlamov back there, and it's like Varlamov's playing well, but Varlamov is like years ahead of Sorokin, and then kind of an aging core, and so it's really important, I think, for those two guys. I guess I'll go with both of them. Those two guys in goal to play well.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's just like not they play well as a team. Like I don't think the Islanders are bad or anything. It's just like I feel like whenever I've seen the Islanders, I'm not really like that impressed. Like they don't have the flashy guys. Like they have Barzell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they have Matt Barzell, but like besides that, it's like more role players and stuff like that. But they play well. So I think when it's all said and done, I think it comes down to their goaltending, even their decor, just as a whole. There's so many guys you can point to.
I like that. I like that. I think my make or break is going to be Matt Barzal. He brings the offense to a team that doesn't have a whole lot of offense. He
Yeah,
is
I can
the
see that.
main guy. If he goes down, they all are going to go down because Brock Nelson is the next player, and Brock Nelson is not going to carry you offensively.
No.
He is just not. He's a phenomenal player. I've had him on my fantasy teams. He's great, but he is not the guy like Matt Barzal. Matt Barzal has 3 goals, 27 assists. A guy who's that unselfish, that untalented is unbelievably valuable. And you need a guy like that. You need a guy who can quarterback a power play, a 5-on-5 from anywhere with his flashy stick handling, speed. You know, he's got it all. So if he goes down, I think their offense goes down and it takes them out of it because, they can be as good as they want defensively. If they can't score 1 goal, you know, there's nothing you can do about that. So that's what I have. Player to watch.
Player to watch, I'm gonna go with Oliver Wahlstrom because
Okay.
that's the thing is I don't know, like there are a few picks for the Islanders that you could go with like for each thing, and I completely agree with you that Barzell could be, the what was it, make or break. And then because it's just like on offense, like who do you look to have the puck? Like with the Devils, it's like Hughes or Heischer or one of those guys, and it's just Barzell, and then everyone kind of fits around him. And for the Islanders, it's like you draft Wahlstrom 11th overall in 2018, and you're really looking forward to him to like break out and kind of have like a year 21 and 44, 24 and 73, now 14 and 29 this year. That's good progress right there, dude. That is good progress. So I think they're hoping he keeps it up because you want to have somebody to look to like for the future. You don't want it to be just Barzell. So I don't know.
For
I think
sure.
he's going to be really important going forward. And same with Simon Holmstrom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's going to be
Yep.
important for the future too. But yeah, I think Wallstrom is going to be interesting. Hopefully he is this year that he can come into his own.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think they need to play him more with Barzal in order for him to do that. Right now, I think Barzal's playing with Lee and maybe Josh Bailey. I have to check that out. I could be wrong. But yeah, I think Oliver Wahlstrom is going to be one of the best goal scorers, in that division at some point after, like Ovi retires and all the big guns retire. Oliver Wahlstrom he's only got 63 shots right now. He's only shooting 63 shots. Even Barzal's shooting more than him. If this kid takes the confidence to shoot the puck more, he is the player to watch because he is going to be the trigger man. He is the trigger. This guy has an absolute rocket if he shoots it. The thing is, he just got to shoot.
Yeah.
I think if you give him the puck, he is a dynamic scorer. He will make it work. He just doesn't have the confidence right now. I don't know why. But actually, you know what? Talked myself into it. I think I know why. When you're on a team that's strictly dependent on defense, it's hard to feel confident to be creative on offense because
Yeah.
you're such a, you know, you
Everyone's a two-way forward.
exactly. Everyone's a two-way forward. So when trying to be a two-way forward, you take away your creativity when you're focusing too much on trying to get back rather than making a fancier move or making a fancier shot or taking risks. So I think the kid just needs to take some risks. I
Yeah.
think the only player that they've let take risks is Barzal. And yes, he's done phenomenally, but I think they can afford to let Wallstrom take some risks. They have a lot of players for that. Now,
Yeah.
MVP.
MVP going with Sorokin.
Sorokin. Okay.
Yeah.
I
I just
like
think
that.
yeah. I just think he's gonna kind of like what I said earlier, like the make or break MVP is kind of similar, but I'm gonna go with the same Sorokin.
I'm gonna say Barzal. I think Barzal has been phenomenal. He flies under the radar. Yo, he's on my fantasy team. Love the guy. He's doing great. So I'm gonna go with Barzal. I think if he starts shooting more, he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the Hurricanes, the Storm Surge boys. Let's see. All right, who do you have as your breakout player for them? I think it's a very easy one.
Oh yeah, Martin.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. I think we can agree on that. Martinikas is I've actually we'll get my boy Dennis on here one day. I've been telling him for years, this kid is way too fast, way too skilled, way too good of a shot. He is honestly one of the slickest skaters in the entire league, or at least very least the division. He's a phenomenal skater. Anybody who gets to see him in person, you'll see this kid is whizzing up and down the ice at all times. But yeah, this kid is flying and he has a phenomenal shot. If he just had the confidence to get creative with it, he would be phenomenal. And that's what he's doing this year. 12 and 16, 28 points in 28 games. I'm so happy that he's turning into this superstar player. It's phenomenal to see. And I'd imagine that's probably what you would say too about him.
Yeah, I mean, dude's leading the team in scoring with a team. You got Brent Burns, you got Aho, you got Svechnikov, you got Jarvis. Jarvis is somebody to watch. You
Absolutely.
veteran Stahl, you got fast. And you still have Teravainen and Kotkaniemi. Like this
Right.
team is deep, like a
Mhm.
deep team. Step on. You can rely on him. Stastny, very interesting. I don't know if he's sound defensively or anything. He's always been a pretty good two-way guy, but this team is deep.
For
Very,
sure. For sure. Best ad. I think this is also another one we'll agree on.
yeah, it was a Brent Burns,
It's
man.
Brent Burns, dude. It's got to be.
It's
Brent
huge.
Burns is huge for them. I think since Dougie Hamilton left, they've really been missing that. They tried to replace that with Tony D'Angelo last year. Tony D'Angelo comes with a lot of, off
Pre,
ice things.
yeah,
And
pre off ice kind of stuff.
yeah, I mean, I like the guy. I like Tony D, but I can very much so understand people don't like him. So Brett Burns is in my opinion, from watching the Penguins play every team, I've gotten to watch every team play. Brett Burns has the scariest shot from the point I
Yeah,
have ever
he
seen.
reminds me of kind of like a Weber, the way he
Weber.
like, winds up, dude. And like he's a slicker. Like he would go from forward
He did go from forward to
to
defenseman.
defenseman with San Jose, and it's just like,
Yep.
dude, he had an OT winner against the Flyers this year when the Flyers were actually playing well, and it was just his shot's crazy, man.
It's
Like when you have a
ridiculous.
guy that's big, you can play D, but can also like shoot like a star forward, dude. It's crazy. He's just so good, man.
And the thing is, everybody's seen those clips of him like a ballerina on the ice. A dude that big should not be skating like that.
The dude who looks like that too.
Yeah, should not be out there floating like a ballerina, dude. He is unbelievably talented, and I
Yeah.
think it's great to see him get a resurgence. It's also great to see E. Carl get a resurgence. So
And
it's great to see these guys doing well. The thing I think that he has over Weber is Weber has to wind up a little bit for his shot. Brett Burns can catch it off a snapshot and send
Yeah,
it just as hard, which is
I agree.
always so terrifying. He doesn't need a lot of time. He does not need a lot of time. Weber, now if he wound it up, like you're gonna want to step out of the way of that. That's unbelievable. It's deadly. But Burns could literally just get a quick snapshot and it would kill you. It would go right through your
Oh my
leg.
gosh. Yeah, and another important thing to add is like
Mhm.
the trade that happened for Brent Burns,
Right.
34% retained.
Hmm.
So he's at 5 point something because they took off almost 3 million in that trade.
Yeah.
And that's for what, the next 3 years?
Hmm.
Yeah, 3 years. I mean, look, he's 37, so he's old, but like he's good. He's like good old. I don't know how, but he is.
Yeah.
But at 5.28 for a lockdown defenseman like that who can play some offense, that's good. That is very good.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And I think a big thing is he's a lot like Crystal Tang, where skating transcends age. It's not like a sport like football or basketball where it takes a toll on your knees and it
Yeah,
just destroys your cartilage in your knees. Being able to be slick skating defensemen like that, it transcends age. So I think that's a big part of it. So um, make or break, and I think another one that we're going to agree on because we talked about it earlier, I think, or maybe you changed. Who's your make or break?
my actually make or break is gonna be Freddie.
Okay. So we did disagree on this one. All right.
Just because,
He's always hurt.
yeah, and like right now he's got an 891 save percentage, man. And
That's
he's only
rough.
played in 8 games. Like Ronta and then that dude, I don't know, Chekhov. They've
Oh,
played in,
Kochikov, yeah.
yeah, they've played in 9 and 12 games respectively. And like, dude, he had a great year last year. And like when it comes down to the playoffs, man, you really got to look at Freddie and be like, like you have to play well. Like you have to do well. Because I also think with the Hurricanes, it's like when they don't, you can say this about every team, I guess, really, but like when they don't score, it's like it's tough to kind of watch them. I feel like because then like they're a great team that they work well together, they mesh well, they have dynamic guys, but it's like they're always going to play hard. But I always feel like something always slips up with like goaltending with them or something, because you have the guys you can depend on. You have a seasoned a very well seasoned D line now. And so I don't know. I just think that to keep them in games in the playoffs when it's really important during those fatigue kind of minutes, I don't know. I think it's going to rely on Freddie.
For sure. And I wish that, if I were a Canes fan, I'd wish that they'd kept Nedeljkovic because he could have been their future. So, but
I
moving.
like him.
Yeah. Oh wait, I didn't get my make or break. I think it's gonna be Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Jesperi Kotkaniemi has had a rough go of it in the NHL.
Yeah,
He was in Montreal, constantly scratched. He was a will he, won't he do well. Now he's kind of almost in the same way, being thrown into the deep end here with a borderline contending team as a second line center, still, young, trying to live up to that third overall hype. It's hard. It's hard. And I think if he cracks, you can't be a contending team without a really reliable second line center. Now, that
mm,
second line center doesn't have to be a phenomenal goal scorer or anything crazy, but they have to be reliable. They have to be reliable. You look at teams, every team that's won the last few years, even the Tampa Bay Lightning with like Sorelli as the second line center, or when they would throw Stamkos behind point, you know, the, the Penguins have Crosby and Malkin. The Blues had, Shen and
yeah.
O'Reilly. You need to have a solid second line center and a
The
kid
Avs.
who's right at Abs, Kadri, and McKinnon. Right. You need a second line center to be there, because not every day your first line guys are going to be, rolling. So you need a guy who's reliable to make that 1-2 punch what it needs to be, or else your team can be easily stopped. If you only got to worry about one line, your team can be stopped. So,
It's a good
player
one.
to watch. Who's your player to watch?
Player to watch. Mine is actually Jesper
Okay.
because I don't know. It also had to do with the fact that at the time I did not know he was signed to an 8-year extension. So I thought he was on the final year of his contract, but he was signed to an 8-year extension. I forgot about that. But I don't know. I think that's still going to be interesting. I think also for all the reasons that you had just said, just because like, I don't know, you got Stahl as well. Stahl's
Mhm.
a good center, but like, yeah, it's like,
Too old right now.
yeah, like every team, you're right, needs a 1 and 2 kind of punch. Like with my Flyers, it was Giroux and it was Couturier, and Couturier is phenomenal. So yeah, I think it's going to be Jasper for me because you want to see what he can do as well. Because with this contract, if you guys don't know it, it is 8 years at 4.82, which is a steal for a 22-year-old, hopefully, if he plays well. But that's the thing, if he plays well. Like last year, he didn't have a great year. So, I guess we'll see. He's kind of a waiting game.
Low risk, high reward for him.
Yeah.
So my player to watch is going to be either Seth Jarvis or Teuvo Teravainen. I think everybody knows what Teuvo Teravainen is capable of. He's only played 18 games and got 8 points. Obviously, he's a player to watch. I'm going to take Seth Jarvis. Seth Jarvis, I think he'll take another year, maybe year and a half, to really, really, really be what he's going to be. But he is showing great signs. And hey, I said that the Devils were going to be one of the best teams in the league, and I didn't say just the Metro. I said the league. I said the Devils are going to be one of the best teams in the entire league, but I said it would take like 2-3 years for those guys to develop. They are way ahead of schedule from what I thought they would be, and who's to say Seth Jarvis won't be that same type of way? So that's my guy to watch. Who's your MVP?
MVP. It's got to be Aho for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. He is the focal point. He's been there. He's had some success in the playoffs a little bit. He's a good playmaker. Like he's an awesome playmaker, and he's also a great two-way forward. So I don't know, like on the power play, like, I don't know. When I think of the Hurricanes, I'm like, all right, let's just wait until the playoffs and let's see what you guys can do because they have a solid team again. You could say it's maybe Svechnikov too is up there, maybe on MVP rankings for them. He's really important, but I just see Aho as the focal point, the guy you want with the puck the most.
That's literally what I say. I'd agree with that. He's always making the right play, and that's what you need for your most valuable player.
Very disciplined.
So we gotta start making it quick because I think Solomon's only got about 35 minutes left. So let's go to the Rangers. All right, breakout player. Who's your breakout player for the Rangers?
Breakout. Oh, let's do yours first because I need to change mine.
Okay. My breakout player is going to be Vinny Trocheck. Vinny Trocheck, yeah, everybody knew he was good, but here's the thing. Vinny Trocheck has flown under the radar his entire career. He is a phenomenal player, and I think people don't give him the respect he deserves. Yeah, he's only got 20 points in 30 games here, but I think that he could fall under a few categories. He could fall under he could fall under make or break again. He could fall under player to watch. But I'm gonna say he's a breakout right now because they're not crazy scoring right now. They've only got 3 players above a point per game, barely. They're not going crazy right now. And I think if Vinny Trocheck could fall under a lot of categories, but I'm gonna have him at breakout. I think that's that good one for him.
I'm gonna go with I gotta go with Philip Hedl.
I was looking at that too.
I'm looking at their stats. I have the stats up. I have their contracts up and stuff like that, just so you guys at home know. But you can look at Kako, you can look at Lafreniere. Like these are important years for them to develop and stuff. But I'm looking at Hedl. I'm like, damn, 14 and 22, and you look at his career stats, and his highest career points is 23 in a season. He's got 14 and 22.
Yeah.
So, he's playing a lot better this season than he has been. I haven't really watched the Rangers a whole lot, I'm going to be honest. But, I would look at Hedl. I'd look at Lafreniere. I'd look at Kako. Jimmy Vesey's kind of interesting.
I hate Jimmy Vesey.
That's very interesting. I don't know. But yeah, I would say Heedle at the moment.
Gotcha. And that's interesting because that, as a Penguins fan, that one hurt because him, Kako, and Lafreniere were a phenomenal line, and for a lot of that series last year, they were their best line, and that kind of sucked. But
Well, that was beautiful watching the Penguins get eliminated in overtime.
yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
So best ad, I'm gonna have to go back to Vinny Trocheck for the exact reasons I said. Who's
I
yours?
agree. Yeah.
Is that who you? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
easily top 6 forward.
Right.
Not a bad contract. Well, actually, the contract we talked about that is actually a hefty contract.
It is a hefty contract for 8 years. That's a lot. That's a lot. It is a lot. Still a best ad for right now. And if he retires earlier, that could help them a lot with that contract. But yeah, so Vinny
Yeah,
Trocheck replaces Ryan Strome, which is unbelievable upgrade. That's like
that is a good
from a from a 4 overall to like an 8. So
yeah.
yeah,
It's also important for like a veteran guy to come in who is solid, who can score, who can play really well in the top 6, especially when you have like, younger guys like Kako and Lafreniere,
right.
and you have Kravtsov still somehow.
Get rid of him.
Yeah. So I think that's very important too. So yeah, I would say Trocheck. Best
Gotcha.
ad.
Gotcha. All right. Make or break. I'm gonna go Igor.
Yeah.
Now you've
same.
been going goalies this whole time. You've been hitting goalies, but I think Igor because he's coming into this year thinking, everybody's thinking, this is the next like Marty Brodeur-esque type player. He's gonna absolutely carry this franchise. He's gonna be the next Henrik Lundqvist, and that gets to a guy. It'll get to you. So it's make or break for him because right now they're not scoring on all cylinders. That might not hold up, but if it does hold and they're not going to score as much and they're going to have to win close games, it's going to come down to Igor.
Yeah.
And this squad is young enough where, a lot like what we said with the Devils, where, you go down by a good amount, maybe in the first 2 quarters, it'll hurt you. Or, periods. Yeah. Go down in the first 2 periods. It's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt their morale. And I think for a young team, goaltending is huge, especially when you're supposed to be the greatest goaltender in the league. How about you?
No, I completely agree. Yeah. I think the Rangers they're going to need to be tested a lot to battle back, to have that, late game push. They haven't been playing that well, but I don't know. Maybe they just need to mesh together. I haven't caught a whole lot of Rangers games. I don't really know what the issue is, to be honest. I mean, Panarin and Mika, they're a point per game, but usually you want them to be like 10 points above. But usually, probably at the end of the season, they'll be like 15, 20 points above or whatever. But yeah, I'd say it's just Sturkin. You want to see some fight from your team.
Sure.
And when you can count on your goalie, it's huge. So
Definitely. Player to watch. For me, my player to watch is going to be Keandre Miller. Now, Keandre Miller is a player to watch because he has some offense in him that is elite if he shows it. Problem is he hasn't shown it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's confidence or what, but he's only shot the puck 45 times. He's not shooting a lot. He's not putting the pucks on net. He's playing a lot of minutes, and that might be a factor why, because he's out there so much. He's out there to be reliable. But if you need offense, you need to shake something up. Keandre Miller is your guy. The kid has a phenomenal shot. He's a great slick puck moving defenseman. And the thing is, if he makes a risky play and messes up, he's got the speed and the skill and the skating to get back and recover. He's got a great IQ to recover on his own mistakes. He just needs to take some risks. And I think he's my player to watch because if he breaks out and they have Fox and Keandre Miller breaking out, they also have Brendan Schneider. Yeah, exactly. They have Schneider, Lindgren, Trouba, who can do defensive work. Keandre Miller needs to be that second offensive threat defensively if their offense is not going right now. How about you?
Yeah, I can see that. I want to see Loff. I think also just as an organization, from the organizational standpoint, their contracts, they have some contracts coming up, man. They got Sammy Blades, they got Loff, they got Kravtsov, they got Jimmy Vesey, they got Filipino, Keandre Miller also, but they only have 1.6 million in cap space right now. So they have a lot of decisions to make in the offseason. But if you have Loff playing really well, or you see him progressing, and he is he's playing pretty well. I mean, just by the statistics, by the points, the assists, the goals, it looks like he's playing pretty well, especially on a decent pace compared to the other years he's played. So I just think that'll be interesting. Also, as the first overall pick, you're thinking like this guy. Didn't he have the exceptional status too in
He
minors or
he
the
did have like I don't know, like
or
McDavid
was it right?
comparisons. Like, yeah, no,
It was
he
like
did.
the thing that Tavares and Crosby got or something. Maybe it was just
Right.
Shane Wright. I don't know. But Loff was like dynamic. He could stick handle, he could shoot, he can pass, he can do everything. He's not bad defensively either. And it's like you're just waiting for this guy to shine. But I think it's hard when you have guys that you want with the puck all the time. You want Panarin with the puck. You want Mika with the puck. You can give Trocheck the puck. You want Fox with the puck. Like, there's only one puck. And to have Kako and Lafreniere on the same team, man, it's got to be tough because your future is going to be fine, but it's just like you don't know for sure. So I think, it's
They're
just going
not
to be,
getting the opportunities they need,
yeah,
like you're
exactly. Like
saying. Yeah.
you want to put them in the right situations. Like if I'm a Rangers fan, I don't know if Loff is on the first line power play unit, but I feel like I want to see him on there. I don't know. That's just me.
I don't know where he'd slot because he doesn't really have a snapshot, and that's the only thing they really need because they have
Put
Panarin
the
on the
second.
right. Panarin
Put,
on, yeah. Oh, on the second, I think he
put him
is on
on,
the
yeah,
second line.
you know what?
Yeah.
Put him on the second line with Kako.
True.
Have
True.
those
True.
two
True.
just
True.
go at it or
I like
something,
that. I like that.
But yeah, I would say Loft because I think it's just gonna be interesting.
Got you. All right. Now, MVP, we may disagree on this. I have their MVP as Adam Fox. I think when you're in these close games, your goaltender might not be playing great and your offense might not be playing great. When you have a guy who can score point per game as a defenseman and play elite level defense, that is your most valuable player. Even if he's not leading your team in points, that is your most valuable player when it comes to close games. You need that defenseman to shut down, but you also need that guy who's going to score points for you, and he does both. So that's my guy.
Makes sense. I like it. I feel like it'd be boring to have the same picks as well. Like I agree with you on most of your stuff anyway, but I'm just gonna go Breadman,
Okay, that's
the
valid.
offense, or you could go Zibanejad. I think they're just about equally as important. Like 1A, 1B. I think Panarin's a little bit more important because he can just exceptional passer, but they're both really good passers. It's just like he's got a nickname for a reason.
True, true,
So
true.
I would go with Panarin or Zibanejad just for the offense. I think it's super important because then if they're playing well, then Chris Kreider is going to be able to play well and put up some goals. So I don't know.
Right, for sure. No, I mean they're not on the same line, which is kind of which also helps. Panarin's like a famous second line winger, and Mika Zibanejad runs that top line. So they got a good 1-2 punch there. Even if Panarin's not the center, he's good enough as a wing to make up for what a center needs. All right, so we're gonna go to the Blue Jackets now. Now I think there's a lot we can agree on here.
Yeah, best ad MVP
Best
probably.
ad. We'll just get best ad out of the way. It's Johnny Gaudreau.
Yep. Johnny Gaudreau.
Easily Johnny Gaudreau. Their MVP is also going to be Johnny Gaudreau for
I
us.
have that too.
Yeah. Breakout is who do you have?
Oh no, I was kind of hoping to see some rookie stuff from Kent Johnson.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Kent Johnson because
Yeah,
14 and 25 isn't great, but
it's not bad
no,
for first year.
right.
Pretty
Especially with Johnny Gaudreau being the only player above a point per game. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's okay to take your time, like Kent Johnson. But 14 and 25 is not bad for a rookie, especially a rookie flying under the radar.
Well,
He's a rookie that wasn't talked about a whole lot. I mean, he was hyped up during his draft, but so is everybody in the first round, after the few weeks of their draft.
yeah.
Nobody's really talked about him too much since. Him and Shinnikov, they're a great 1-2 punch when it comes to young players. Kent Johnson is definitely I'd say their breakout player as well. So, all right. We did best at it's Johnny Gaudreau. There's no question about it. No debate. Nothing more to say about it.
Yeah.
Make or break. Now I have. Who do you have? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, why don't you go first?
Okay. I have Patrick Laine. Now, I think Patrick Laine, everybody knows, he came into the league saying he's going to be the next Alex Ovechkin, right? phenomenal shot, and it still holds. Still has one of the best shots in the entire league. The league's it's hard to find a guy who can shoot the puck like that. He's just been lazy. He's been unmotivated. He's been on a team with not a lot of success, a lot of up and down. Um, if he finds his way with one of the best playmakers in the entire league, we saw what Johnny Gaudreau did for Matthew Tkachuk. Now, Matthew Tkachuk is a great player on his own, but he is nowhere near the goal scoring talent of Patrick Laine.
Yeah.
Johnny Gaudreau will find the puck for Laine in places he never knew were possible. And if he can just finish on those, he is their make or break player. But thing is, Johnny Gaudreau, I love the guy. He's not good enough to do it on his own. He's not a carry job player. And
Yeah.
nobody can really be in the NHL because you're only out there 40 seconds at a time. So
But
yeah,
I'll add this. Like, don't forget about Jake Voracek.
true. He is
Pass
there,
for
isn't
like
he?
literally won't take a shot. When he does take a shot, 5-hole every time. It's 5-hole. It's a little backhand forehand fake or something. And he's always
True.
moving his shoulders, man, when he skates.
True.
Seen it my entire life. But
Right.
don't forget about that because it's like, who do you like first line power play? If I have to just think about it in my head, it's probably going to be line A. You got to have
Gaudreau.
Voracek on there, Gaudreau, Boquist at point maybe.
With Werenski hurt, probably.
So
Yeah, probably.
and then maybe like Jenner or like Kent John. I don't know. I'm just saying. But like,
Right.
who do you have shooting the puck besides line?
True. That's
Like,
very true.
if you have Kent Johnson's he can shoot, right?
Yes, you can.
But
Yep.
like, dude, who else? You know, Sean Crowley? No, like what? I mean, Boone Jenner can shoot, but it's like
Only very
not
close
like
proximity.
yeah, it's so
It's like JVR.
yeah, literally, dude. I think that's very interesting though. Like that's what I wanted to bring up is like Line is gonna be interesting, but it's also like you can't pass the puck if you're him because you're just good. Once you pass the puck, it's gonna be passed around like 5 more times.
Exactly. Very good point.
So yeah, I don't know. That I would agree that what was it? A player to watch or breakout?
That was make or break.
Oh, make or break. Yeah. I would say, yeah, I would also say that. I think for the reasons we all just said, honestly.
Right.
Originally I was thinking Corpusalo or the D-core because I was at the time I think Werenski wasn't hurt. So I was like, oh, this will be interesting for them. But with them for this season, I would say that.
For sure. And I think player to watch is also going to be Patrick Laine. He's got 13 points in 15 games. He's only played 15 games. People forget about that. But if he takes this opportunity with Johnny Gaudreau, he finally realizes, oh my gosh, they got me help, and this kid is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Plus Voracek, plus Werenski. He's not coming back, but this is his chance. This is his chance. I think he understands that. So that's going to be my player to watch. How about you?
Player to watch. I want to see how Cole Cylinder does.
I like that a lot. I really like that pick.
Also, that is Tate McRae's boyfriend. Fun fact.
Who?
Tate McRae, she's a singer, whatever.
I don't know who that is.
All right, you've definitely heard a song. She's really attractive. But anyway, that's not the point. That's not the point. If you're listening, Cole Cylinder, great job, dude. But I would say Cole's interesting because I don't know, he's just coming out of the draft basically, last year?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know much about Cole Cylinder. I just heard he's pretty good. So,
right.
And I guess he's a rookie this season. I don't know. Kind of a lost season, I think everyone can agree on for the Blue Jackets.
At this point, yeah.
You wanna see what Cylinder does. You want to see what Johnson does. You want to see what Boquist can do.
Exactly.
You
just want to try and get one of those good young guys coming up for the draft next year.
Wait, Adam Boquist is on LTIR with Werenski. Never mind.
Right, yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, no, I love Cole Cylinder. He's an undersized guy, very underrated. He's got that left-hand shot that they need because they already have Patrick Laine as a right-hand shot. Cole Cylinder is a great player, great young player. I think if he gets some meat on his bones and gets a little stronger, Gets a little bit more confident skating. Yeah, he's that player to watch. MVP, we agreed on that. We got to start moving because we got 15 minutes for you and we got to
Oh
cover
yeah,
pens, caps, and flyers. So we'll go to caps real quick. Breakout player. I'm going to take Dylan Strome.
me
Dylan
too.
Strome's been bounced around the league a lot. Dylan Strome has been bounced around the league. He's been, trying to find his way in the league. He's had a little controversy off the ice. He's an interesting player, and with a team like this who rarely finds themselves new players to break out. Over the last 10 years, it's been the same guys doing
Yeah,
well for the team every year. So I think it's cool to see a new face. Dylan Strome in the top 3 in points, 23 points in 31 games, finally trying to find something with a franchise, and I think it's great. I think it's awesome, and I'd assume that's probably you. Is that who you were gonna say?
and best ad.
Best ad. Yeah. So yeah, he falls under best ad for
Yeah,
the exact same reasons. Make or break. I also have Dylan Strome
really.
because for many of the reasons why I said Jesperi Kotkaniemi. As a second line center, you absolutely need him to be reliable, and he's been reliable to this point, and they've been but they need him to make. They need him to be the make or break guy because the rest of their team, yeah, they've had the identity for years. They've had the identity for 10 years. You know, they've had the same guys for forever. They know what they're about. They know how to work their own system. They know what they're doing. You throw a guy in there, second line center is a very prominent role. You need him to do well. If he doesn't do well, your whole team could collapse. All he needs to do is be decent. That's all he needs to do is be reliable.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think my make or break is going to be Kemper, Darcy Kemper,
I like that.
because I don't know. It always seems to be an interesting thing. It's like the Caps have, besides their Stanley Cup run, it was like never had the edge, But like these guys have been playing together for years. They've had Mantha for at least a year or something.
Yeah,
Everybody, I think people forget they have Anthony Mantha,
right. He's tough.
Lars Eller, Oshie. Just like I can tell you when he's gonna score, and it's gonna be on the power play, and it's gonna be in the slot right in front of the goal. They're gonna
Every
pass it to the front.
time.
Yeah, they're gonna pass it to the goal line, pass it right back. It's like, but they have these guys that can produce, and still have John Carlson, although he's not had a point per game in like 2 seasons. But I think Kemper, it's like the 916 save percentage right now,
Mm-hmm.
playing real well, but 8 wins, 9 losses. So it's like if he's not playing well, this team is not very good.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I think he would be mine.
I like that. And I think our player to watch and MVP are going to be the same. So we'll just run through it real quick. It's Ovi. How can you not watch this guy? He is the reason that this team is still relevant, respectfully, because Alex Ovechkin is chasing Gretzky. The kid just got it. The dude, he's a man now. He's a grown dude.
He's
Just got
30.
a right, dude. He's old. He just got a hat trick. Like this guy is scoring at every level. Like it's unbelievable. He's the player to watch. He's the MVP. I don't think it's really debatable. Right now, he's the most watched milestone player in the entire league right now. Most followed milestone player in the entire league, and that's got to be your guy to watch. That's the guy that keeps your team in it. All right, let's go to the fly guys.
Oh, you're saving your Penguins for last?
I'll say the Pens for last. I can do a lot of that talk in case if you need to go at 6. I can do a lot of that stuff. Okay, so breakout for me. Oh geez, boy. How about you? Actually, no. I'm gonna go Kevin Hayes. I'll go Kevin Hayes. Breakout.
I like it.
I've been dissing Kevin Hayes for a long time. I really don't like him. I don't think he's a first line center. I don't think he's a second line center. I think he'd be the best third line center in the league. But I don't see him as a second line center. He's been proving me wrong this year. He's been doing very well. He's almost a point per game. He's 29 points in 30 games. He's a spectacle right now, and it's weird. He's moving
I don't
like
I don't know how they're doing. They're just like my Flyers are just a hardworking team right now because they have John Tortorella. Like they can stay in games, they can push into overtime. The reason why we're not like one of the worst teams in the NHL is because we have the hard work, we have the comeback. Like we don't really come back, but it's just like sometimes we do. But anyway, like
7 overtime losses.
yeah, dude, we work real hard. during the games.
No cursing.
No, sorry, my bad. We work real hard, and it's just like we just can't. We don't have the star power up front to do anything with it. That's the
Right, right.
problem. And Kevin Hayes, like, I agree. He's breakout, dude. I don't. I think that's the thing. I don't. That's what I was gonna say. I don't know how they're doing it, other than
Mhm.
the fact that they're just working really hard, staying in games, because they can't score really. Like,
For sure.
I don't know how.
No, I agree with that, and I think the reason why you guys are losing in overtime is you don't have the talent
Yeah,
to compete with these teams. I mean, you can outgrind a team 1 through 4 lines, but when it gets to 3-on-3, you're gonna get exposed talent wise, and that's
yeah.
hard. That sucks when you don't have Couturier or Ellis or Giroux or Voracek
Atkinson.
anymore. Atkinson, right? So it's like it's not entirely your fault. That's rough.
Yeah, we're waiting a few months until Atkinson and Couturier get back, and then Ellis. I don't know. He might be a lost cause right now.
Hey, but
Unfortunately,
that would help that would help your cap space if he
he
drops.
leaves. Yeah,
Um, all right. I think best ad. We've got the same best ad, I'd assume. Who do you have?
Claude Giroux. No, it's
Yeah, this guy.
Tony D. It's Tony
That's
D.
your worst loss.
Yeah, easily. But no,
Tony
worst
D.
loss is not getting Johnny Hockey.
Oh, here we go. This guy, we were at the Prudential Center, and this guy went up to the Flyers guy and he said, "So, what do you think about us not picking up Gaudreau?"
How
Because
do you
I
not?
really was disappointed, and I was like, "Bro, you can't say that to
How
someone
do
you're
you?
trying to get a job from."
It's just like, yeah, I guess. But like, I just wanted to know, like, I don't know. They didn't really answer.
No, dude, he's like, he gave him the most political answer. He was
Yeah,
like,
I mean, what else?
yeah, it's not really our
Just
job,
focus on the
but
team.
yeah, we're focusing on
Focus on the
the
team.
people in the seats.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
but
funny. Love
yeah,
that.
best ad Tony D by
Tony
far.
D for sure.
Dude, this guy
He,
is so good. I love Tony D so much as a player because like, for me, it's like, dude, like when you look at the Flyers, when I've been watching the Flyers for years now, like over a decade, which is crazy to say, but like, dude, like we had Giroux, we had Voracek as kind of a dynamic guy, right? But it's like, who else? Like you had Shen on the power play. Then on D, it's like nobody. This team has lacked defense since they had Proner and Timonen, dude. They've lacked defense, man. Like you go out, you get Mark Streit. You basically just get the Islanders front D core from like 14 to like 18 with Streit and McDonald. And it's like, all right, what the heck do you have? Now you have Provorov, you have Sanheim, it's pretty good, but they're not the guys you really want them to be yet. And so with Tony D, it's like this guy moves the puck. He shoots the puck. He passes the puck. He can play. He's good on a stick. He can play hard defense. Like he'll fight. Like he's a dog. He is a Philadelphia Eagle. That's what he is, bro.
he's a dog.
He's a dog. I love Tony D so much. That's my
I
next.
love it. I love it. I think he brings all the aspects you need. I think he brings the missing Goss to spare offensive talent. He brings
Yeah,
the Provorov defensive talent, and he brings the skating of like Ellis. So he's a well-rounded player. It's just a shame that a lot of things that happened, he's had to bounce around the league.
yeah. I mean, luckily he's bounced with us now.
Hey, for real, for real.
And I
For real.
want a contract extension. Chuck Fletcher, you gotta sign this dude.
Facts. I like that.
Ellis is not staying, so you need to.
Make or break is. I got heart.
I agree. Yep.
I got heart. Look, like people are underestimating how much Hart is doing right now. Like we've
Yeah.
gone to games and you watch this on TV and they are leaving that man out to dry.
Like this
Out
team,
to dry.
past this is the third season in a row they're not going to make the playoffs, and it's just like the past 3 seasons, man. It's just like you don't have like offensive capabilities most nights. Like sometimes I'm surprised. I'm like, all right, that was a nice play. That was a nice little dump and chisel. You throw it behind the net, you throw it in front, bang, 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 you got a goal. But it's like most of the time, it's like you dump and chisel because you're just pressured so much on D, and then you're back right on D, and it's like, dude, this team, Carter just nonstop, man. He's so good. People don't understand. He is good. He'll have like every goalie has a bad game, right? But it's like he doesn't have like the D for us is pretty. It's not bad. It's not a bad D. It's just they're not
They're not
playing as well as
helping
they
him. They're
could.
not helping him.
they're not really helping him, and they were playing very well at the start of the season and stuff, but um,
I
yeah,
think I think you're right. I think they need to help the kid out more, man. They really do.
yeah,
He's been nothing but sensational ever since, maybe a year after he came up. First year was a little off, I think. But that, or I could be wrong. I don't remember. But point is,
well, when he first came up, it was like he was unbeaten in his first like 8 games or
that's right.
something.
That's
It was
right.
something really nice.
That's right. But yeah, no, they're leaving him out to dry, and it's a shame. But he's their make or break guy. Because if he just says, you know what, screw it, I can't do this anymore. Like
I would cry, dude.
he that there goes your team. There goes
It-
everything about your team.
Official rebuild.
Yeah. Like all the girls in your fan base are gonna leave because Carter Hart's apparently
For
like the
real.
most
They
attractive
love
guy
Carter.
to
They love
ever
Carter.
touch ice. The issue is that the girls that don't talk about him are the ones that haven't seen him because he's under the mask. You know what I mean? So it's like he's not like Jack Hughes, but like
Yeah.
you know,
I went to a game against the Lightning last year. They lost in a shootout on my birthday. I brought my friend with me, and she was just like, "Oh my gosh, the goalie is so cute." I'm like, dude, I was like, dude, look, we're up to nothing on the defending champs. Can we chill? And they ended
can we
up,
chill?
yeah, like she was like, "Oh my gosh, he's so cute," and I was hype out, but yeah, they love it. They love Carter, man.
Remember when we went to Jersey and Jack Hughes came out of the tunnel. The girls were going
They
nuts. It was
upstairs.
so funny.
It's almost kind of like annoying in a way.
It was so funny. I thought it was hilarious. Cause
It's
he's
like they don't know anything, man. They're just
oh,
looking at the dude. But I
it's
mean,
so funny.
it's honestly good because the more people that look at the game of hockey,
From any aspect,
yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully they're just like, oh, what teams do you play for? They start watching hockey, but
Right. That would be cool.
that would be cool.
All right, we got 6 minutes for you. Dang. Okay.
Player to watch.
What?
Player to watch.
Oh yeah, player to watch. I'm gonna say Owen Tippett. You guys got rid of Claude Giroux, and seemingly and honestly, you guys didn't get a whole lot back. You
I
really
was
didn't.
so
You
mad.
you did not get a whole lot back from him. But this kid has the same stat line as um Patrick Laine right now, with 8 goals, 5 assists, 13 games or 13 points in 25 games. Though it's a little different, but
Not bad.
this kid is a trigger man. This kid is a Cole Caulfield type player, a smaller guy. He's got some grit in him, as we've seen. He can throw the body around.
He's bigger than Caulfield, like
Right,
width and taller.
right.
He's just big.
So, yeah, no, for
Power
sure,
forward.
for sure. He's a he's a
That makes sense.
talented kid,
I
and I
like.
think the big issue you guys have been missing out on for years, and we talked about this very recently, me and you. You don't have a shooter. You haven't had a shooter for years. You haven't had a shoot first guy. Claude Giroux is a phenomenal scorer, but we've talked about this. He didn't shoot. He didn't shoot a lot.
Yeah.
He had one of the best shots in the league if he shot it, but he didn't.
The pain that it is to have been watching a Flyers power play is extraordinary. Nobody wanted to shoot the damn puck except for Shen. You got Simmons in front, you got Voracek, you got Claude, you got Shen, and then you got Gostisbehere, and it's like Gostisbehere is like one of the only ones besides Shen who's actually going to shoot. Voracek does not shoot the puck. He goes across the seam or just feeds it to the point, okay? And he'll turn it over probably like half the time. And then Claude, it's like he'll be the playmaker. He'll like try to find the open seam, but it's like, dude, you have a shot. And so, yeah, we just don't have that kind of guy. That's a good one. I like that.
And I think Owen Tippett, if he does take those shots, you can feed around him. And
Yeah.
honestly, if you're a pass first team, you're gonna be easily defended.
Yeah,
If
dude.
you have to worry about a guy like people will do with Ovi and the Tage Thompson now. What they're doing with Tage Thompson is they have a spy on Tage Thompson like they do with Ovi, on the power play, and that creates a 4-on-3 in the zone that is unbelievably easy to capitalize on with pass first guys. If you have pass first guys on a 4-on-3, you're going to do well. But the thing
Yeah.
is, like, you can't get to that point unless you do have a trigger guy that they have to have a spy on. So, they need Tippett to be that guy. MVP Kevin Hayes. No, Hart. Sorry. Why did I say that? I'm not giving Kevin Hayes that satisfaction. I'm going Carter Hart. Carter Hart is one of the only reasons you guys are that, the way you are right now. I think he's been the most consistent player throughout years. I know Kevin Hayes is having a great year, but I think most valuable to your team is going to be Carter Hart.
My player to watch was Provorov.
Oh, did you not get to do it? My bad. Yeah. You go.
Dude, for various reasons, because we got him kind of long term. You just want to see him be more offensively. He's not playing terrible, but it's like sometimes, dude, it's like, man, like why are you falling and turning it over and they score and the game's like over, bro? Like I've watched him a few times, it's just like bad turnovers, bad skating. Sometimes I'm just like, dude, like what are you doing? Because he can be a good player, and it's like it's very frustrating. So I think him, and then MVP, like you just said, I agree. I would say an honorable mention is like Konechny, dude. He's playing really well, point per game. Him and Kevin, dude, we have 2 point per games, and we are still like that's how you know we're like not that.
We're still
far.
but.
That's how you know we're not that far from being like a decent team. It's because like we just like, if we had Johnny Gaudreau, man, like I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, man.
No way.
I'm gonna die saying this, man. You got Johnny Gaudreau, you got what? You got Konechny, you got Farabee, you got Couturier, you got Atkinson, you got Hayes. Dude, that's an all right top 6, man. That's a pretty decent power play, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's annoying, but yeah, I'd say Konechny's playing well, so I would say honorable mention MVP.
All right. I know you gotta go. Thank you so much for
It was a pleasure,
being
dude.
here. Yeah, bro. We're gonna do this a lot more. Before you go, run me through your guys for the Penguins, and I'll talk about it with, I'll do that while you're gone.
Viewers.
So breakout. Who's your breakout guy? I'll write it down here.
Breakout. I'm gonna go Raquel.
Rack. I like it. Best ad.
Best ad. That's I guess Ty Smith.
Okay.
Who else did they add?
He hasn't played a game yet, though, bro.
Wait, who else did they add?
Ty Smith hasn't played yet. Wait, hold on. I mean, you could say Raquel because we did add him at the end of the year.
Yeah, I would. All right, I'm gonna go say that's what I have, but I was like, he's been on the team for.
Oh, Petrie. We added Petrie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'd still say Raquel.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Make or break.
Jari.
Interesting.
Jari. MVP. I'm gonna go. I feel like it's gotta be Crosby, man. He's playing really well. Player to watch. That's interesting. What I have is Gensel, but I'm like, I don't know. I just think
everybody watches Gansey though.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know. I just think that'd be interesting. It'd be like kind of fun to watch, I guess. But in the context of player to watch, I don't know. Oh, you know what? Let's do Chris Letang now. See how he comes back.
Valid. I like that pick. Okay.
See how he comes back from, the John.
I like that. John, Philly word. That's how you know Solomon's from Philly. All right, guys. Don't go anywhere. I'm still going to cover the Penguins. It's going to be very fun. It's going to be a great time. But we will say goodbye to Solomon here. Thank you, Solomon, so much for joining us. We'll definitely have to film. See, now Solomon and I are on winter break, so we'll probably be filming a lot. So thank you again, man. Hope you enjoyed, being on first episode.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Start of something great, man.
Yeah, man. All right, dude.
All right.
Peace.
Good luck, sir.
See you boys later.
All right. We'll see you, bro. Okay. For those of you who have continued watching, thank you so much. Here we go. So if you're a Penguins fan, I'm the guy you want to talk to. I'm the guy that you're going to love hearing from. Huge Penguins fan. I like to watch every game. I am everything Penguins. Let's get this going. All right, boys. Breakout. Give me. There's a lot of great options here, right? Because Rick Rack's been playing well. Zucker is finally not hurt, right? Zucker's finally not hurt. This is great. Oh wait, no, he's hurt again. Yeah, so right now he's on a week to week. So is Petrie. Petrie's on LTIR. But I'm going to say breakout. Yeah, I'll take Zuck. Let's mix it up because Ricky's going to be in a lot of them. And Ricky was also his breakout player. But I'll take Zuck. Zucker has been injured, and we gave up a lot for him. We basically gave up two first picks. Whoa, two first round picks for him. We gave up Kalen Addison and a first round pick. Kalen Addison was going to be that guy, that we could come up from Wilkes-Barre or wherever he was going to play, and he was going to be a difference maker. He was going to be a young guy, a great player, a difference maker. So, getting rid of both of those guys was rough, especially for the fact that Zucker was always hurt and wasn't very consistent in the beginning. Yeah, he had that like 2-goal game. Remember that? That was awesome. With Sidney Crosby is like first game or second game or something very recent into his time here. But now he's got 20 points in 27 games. He's really finding his own. I think the lines have been solidified. If you're a Penguins fan, you probably have understood that, right? So Gensel, um, Gensel, Crosby, and Raquel have been breathtaking. They've been unbelievable. Sidney Crosby, he is my front runner for MVP. Yeah, say that. I'm a Penguins fan. MVP Crosby, right? He is my MVP. And at 35 years old, being able to literally carry this team on his back. Yeah, the other guy's been doing phenomenal, but Crosby's still playing that two-way game, that leadership style. He's keeping them in every single game. He has so far been the most clutch player in the entire league that I've seen. I get notifications for every goal scored in the NHL, and his always comes up. Well, I also watch, so I keep track of all the other ones, but when I watch, he's the most clutch player I've ever gotten the pleasure of watching. So, winners breakout. Sorry, little rant there. If you're a Penguins fan, you're loving this. So, Ricard Raquel, he's my breakout player because he has been, it was a little rough. He had a rough start. He wasn't doing crazy well. He was still finding his way. In all honesty, the play style between the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference is very different. Where he came from, scrap and grind. He wasn't able to showcase his skill as much as he'd like to. There are guys in the West on lower level teams like the Ducks, like Trevor Zegras, who do get to showcase their skill. But for the most part, lower level Western Conference teams are just grindy guys. Excuse me. Guys who are just, pedal to the metal, just big hitters, big scrappy grind players. They're not always skilled guys. And this guy flew under the radar big time. Phenomenal skill player. Oh, and then he got hurt in the Rangers series, courtesy of I think it was Jacob Trouba. Jacob Trouba. But yeah, now he's back. He's got 19 points in 29 games. He'd have more if he wasn't bounced up and down the lineup. He does not fit well with Malkin. We're Penguins fans. We know he wasn't fitting well with Malkin. He plays with Gensel and Crosby like a demon. He's phenomenal with them. They're probably one of the best lines in the league. They're just incredibly underrated. Best ad. Now, I'm going to do worst loss as well. Best ad's Ricky for the exact reasons we just talked about. Ricard Raquel is the best ad. Solomon had the same idea. I know it was very rushed, so we weren't able to talk to him about it as much. But Ricard Raquel has been the best addition. He's really brought that winger aspect that we needed. Our best right winger was Brian Rust. Love Brian Rust, but we need a guy like Raquel if we're going to be making a deep run. We're trying to win with this team. We're trying to take this team to the cup with Crosby and Malkin one more time, maybe 2 more times, 3 more times. Malkin and Crosby for 100 years, Malkin and Crosby, endless thing. But, Ricard Raquel is that right winger that we really needed. And he's been unbelievable. He's got that creativity that he brings to the East, which is really going to fit in well with what the East play style is. Biggest loss. Let's take a moment to put some respect on the name Mike Matheson. Mike Matheson last year was our best defenseman. Yes, we have Chris Letang, but it's unbelievable how much we overrate Chris Letang at some points. When it comes to defense, yeah, he has moments. Yeah, it's great. But Mike Matheson was our best defenseman, offensively and defensively last year. Mike Matheson had I was talking about hardest shots in the league, snapshots. I was talking about Brian Burns. Or oh wait, no, Brent Burns. Wow, that was rough. Brent Burns. I was talking about Brent Burns and his snapshot and how phenomenal it is, right? Mike Matheson is a top 5 snapshot player in the entire league. I'm being so serious. I watched all the games, watched all 82 games. I got to see all 32 teams. Could not find a guy besides Brett Burns who has a harder snapshot. Now they could just have off days, so I will say Matheson's top 5 snapshots, but that guy had a rocket, like a literal rocket. It was a missile. And if you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, you'll see he's going to literally break some of your own teammates' legs because this guy cannot hit the net for some reason. If Mike Matheson hit the net, he could probably had 20 goals. Um, he was a phenomenal playmaker. He was a big body. He was one of our best skaters. His wife is also a very high level hockey player. They work on skating a lot together. He has a lot of time off the ice or out of the organization and at home to work on skating. He's got that technique down. It's beautiful. He's got incredible IQ. It's been developing. It wasn't great in Florida. That's because they needed him to play more of a defensive role due to the fact that Aaron Ekblad was hurt a lot, and he had to take a lot. He had to take a lot of the brunt of it. So um, Mike Matheson, I miss you, bro. I really do, and I think the city doesn't understand how much we actually do miss you. You were great for us, and yes, I love Petrie, and I think Petrie's been great, but he hasn't been better than Matheson was last year. But the thing is, who came with it? Palin. Palin has been that guy that we need on that fourth line. Penguins' fourth line has been one of the best fourth lines in the league for years. We've had who do we have? We had McGinn, Bluger, and Czar. They were statistically the best line in the entire league, not just fourth line, best line in the entire league statistically, two-way play in the whole league last year and the year before that. So we needed that fourth line. We need that fourth line. And Ryan Paling has done nothing but he's been phenomenal. He's been an unbelievable addition. I think he could even be a potential best add. Petrie's been great, don't get me wrong, but people underestimate how much we're going to miss Matheson when it comes to, and also Matheson was younger, a lot younger. So, yeah, that's probably the worst loss. Make or break. He had Jari. He's been picking goalies a lot. I feel like because it's understandable. Make or break is going to be your goalie. If your goalie doesn't play well, your team doesn't play well. But my make or break is going to be Malkin. Look, Malkin. A little fun thing about me. I grew up playing football. I was pretty good at it. I'd say. Marvin Harrison Jr., the kid that plays for Ohio State, he's going to be like a top 10 pick in the NFL in a few years. He was my teammate. We played together growing up. I was on a good team. I played well. A lot of heartbreaking, things happened to me playing football, a lot of political things, and I wasn't able to play anymore. And I really wanted to find a sport where I could thrive, not being the most skilled guy, obviously, since I'm very new to hockey. I had already liked the Penguins growing up. I don't want to get too much into it, but I would already been an unofficial Penguins fan since I was like 5th grade or something. Um, so I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I'll pick it up. Hockey seems cool. I already said I like the Penguins. I have known nothing about the Penguins at all. Barely knew who Sidney Crosby was. And I started watching. I'm like, this Evgeny Malkin guy stinks. This Malkin guy cannot skate for his life. He cannot skate for anything, And that's what I loved about him. That's what I love about the guy. I love that a guy can be that clumsy. It looked like Bambi on the ice. He's not a very great skater. And neither was I. I was just starting. I'm like 11 years behind some of the kids I started playing with. So it was really cool to see a guy like that excel at that level as long as you have creativity. Malkin, throughout his career, has been one of the most creative players in the league because he doesn't have it when it comes to skating. So he has to make up through it. Creativity, his shooting power. That's what I have. I have a good shot. I have. I'd like to think I'm very creative on the ice. Um, he was my inspiration. He was my inspiration. He came from a very different background than everybody on the Penguins. You know, he came from Magnitogorsk, Russia. He didn't even speak English when he got here. Took a very Yarmer Yager esque type role to get to the Penguins. He That's what I felt when I walked into hockey locker rooms. You know, I don't know anything about this. I'm not throwing race into it at all, uh, or saying that but I was the only brown kid in like the entire league, and that's fine because my teammates embraced me. It has nothing to do with it, but it's just like I came from a different background than everybody else. I was very new to the sport. I wasn't a great skater. All I had was creativity. Creativity. I could shoot hard, and that's what Gino had, and he was one of the best players in the league when I grew up. So I love the kid. I love the guy. He's an older guy now, but he's my make or break because the guy has been very clumsy as he's gotten older. Love the guys to death. He's the reason I started playing and the reason found inspiration. I have two of his jerseys, but if he keeps making these very risky turnovers, not getting back on defense, it's going to kill the Penguins. And it's going to be a huge regret to the fan base, and the people are going to get pissed at him because they just re-signed him after a very controversial shouldn't they, should they go out and get Trocheck, who wants to come to the Penguins because he was from Pittsburgh. A lot of ifs, and they took Malkin. Uh, you know, confession, I did when I thought he was going to leave, I thought he was done. I sent him a DM, just like a long thing saying, hey, thank you for everything. You were an inspiration to me, yada, yada, yada. So I love the guy, but he's really been hurting the team with turnovers. He's been phenomenal offensively. I love him. Gino, you're a point per game right now. Just keep it up, and please, please, just don't make bad mistakes, please, bro. I love you. Come on. As you can tell, I love the Penguins. So sorry, I gotta keep this moving. Players to watch. He had Letang. I think that's interesting because Letang had the seizure, um, and everything. You know, he's been it's been a rough ride. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big Chris Letang disliker, and in some ways, I love the guy. He's a phenomenal human being. He's a great father, a great teammate, a great friend. On the ice, it frustrates me because he is one of the best skating defensemen in the entire league. I think there are players that are better skaters in front of him, like Cale Makar, Jamie Drysdale. There are slick skaters, Brent Burns maybe, but he is one of the best skating defensemen in the league, and he is one of the most offensively talented defensemen in the league since he could come in. The issue is he's not as good defensively. That's why he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's had an unbelievable career offensively, but he just needs to pick it up defensively. Love the guy, player to watch. Yeah. I mean, especially after a stroke, that's the guy you're going to want to keep your eye on and make sure everything's all right with him. So I understand that from Solomon's aspect. My player to watch for them, boy, as a Penguins fan, there's so many guys we can throw out there. Honorable mentions, player to watch. I'm going to go with Kapanen. He could be a player to watch. He'll get like a hat trick and then go cold for like 8 games. Jeff Petrie, if he starts coming into his own offensively, he'll be phenomenal. Brock McGinn is just shooting with confidence again. That'll be great. Danton Heinen can come in anywhere on the entire lineup and be a stud. He's been slotted 1 through 4 this entire year, and he's coming back in with Zucker hurt. Maybe he does something, maybe he doesn't. He doesn't really fit any of the lines perfectly. That's why he's been scratched, but he still is a great player. He was our best 5-on-5 player last year. So it's a lot to watch there. But I'm going to say P.O. Oliver Joseph. Now, I was a big disliker of P.O. coming up. I do like, brown hockey player, very similar to me. I like this guy, and I don't look at it based off race. He's really earned it in the NHL, though. I didn't think he did at first. But the thing is, I think he was just not confident in himself. Now I'm starting to see what people are talking about. He started off the season kind of rough, Went to Montreal, had that game. He was pretty good. But before that, he was rough. He was pretty rough. And I think it's just a comfortability getting into this level, playing up to this level. I'm starting to see what they were seeing down at and Wilkes-Barre and, wherever else he played. He's unbelievably good slick skating defenseman. He's quite literally like Keandre Miller if Keandre Miller decided to play some more offense. That has nothing to do with race. I'm just saying a taller guy, lankier dude, but left-handed shot. Um, and yes, I guess it does have a little bit to do with they're both black hockey players who come in from maybe they're not. I mean, from my perspective as well, we're not used to that. I mean, like we're the only ones, so it's like not gonna harp on that too much. Don't want to get into it, but yeah. So P.O. Oliver Joseph is my guy to watch. He's a phenomenal slick skating defenseman. He's a great player. He's a great guy. He's always got a smile on his face, always got the right attitude, always looking to compete. He's willing to throw his body around, even though he's not the biggest dude out there. He's doing everything in his power to stay in this lineup over Ty Smith right now. And I'm all for it, man. He's doing phenomenal. He's been incredible. I really like the guy. And I think he could even be I'd go as far to say he could be our future. He could literally be our future when it comes to um defense. I think him and Ty Smith could be our future. That's how good I think P.O. Oliver Joseph could be if they develop him properly. And who else better to develop him than, in my opinion, one of the best coaches in the entire league. I always say the entire league, but Mike Sullivan, you have been snubbed year after year after year after year. It's unbelievable. You're a coach of the year, at least one of those back-to-back Stanley Cup runs. Every year you deal with incredible adversity. Last year, nobody gives you the respect you deserve for having Letang, Crosby, and Malkin all out to start the year. People don't give you credit for that. You've been phenomenal. Props to you. If you develop this kid, P.O. Joseph, well, he's going to be your guy to ride or die with. So, yeah, I think P.O. is the guy to look for. I think he's starting to have a breakout year. I think next year will be his solidified year, but right now he's got his second goal in the NHL. He's looking a little better. He's skating well now. He's on the second power play unit. So yeah, love him. All right. MVP. Come on. Let's just all take a moment and understand how good Sidney Crosby has been. Just take a moment. I'll give you a second. All right. Sidney Crosby has been unbelievable. He's 35 years old, and he's got 38 points in 29 games. Yeah, you could say he has Gensel. Yeah, you could say he has Raquel. He made Gensel, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong. He made Gensel into the player he is right now. Gensel is a scrawny kid with a great shot, yes, but on his own, he is not anything what he is with Crosby. Crosby has the difference that between Crosby and McDavid is Crosby makes players. Crosby makes everyone around him better. McDavid, although yes, he gets the assists, he gets all the same stats, even better than Crosby. He doesn't make players around him better. Crosby developed Brian Rust. Crosby turned Gensel into the player he is right now. Crosby played with everybody in this lineup and makes them better. Everyone from that team, the 2015, 16, 17, all those years coming up, Sheary, the only reason Sheary has a job is because of Crosby. Crosby is that guy, all right? And people need to keep putting respect on his name. I'm loving that people are seeing that now. He is my front runner for MVP of the league because, yes, you got McDavid putting up McDavid points. Voter fatigue is going to set in, and a guy like this with this kind of a storyline like Crosby is going to get it over that every year until he retires. And then, yeah, McDavid will get it probably every other year, whatever. But because obviously, yes, McDavid is the greatest athlete in the world right now. McDavid is the most dominant in his sport compared to any other sport, right? Like basketball, there's debates, there's Doncic, there's Embiid emerging right now. There's Giannis. There's so many people. And then in NFL, you got like Mahomes, you got Allen. Allen, I don't know. But Mahomes, yeah, fine. Mahomes might have set himself apart, but not as much as McDavid has from the number two. There's McDavid, there's like 6 tiers, and then there's the next guy. So yeah, he'll always be up there for MVP, but I think Crosby will be MVP this year if he maintains this progress. He's been phenomenal. And yeah, he had Sid for the same reasons as well. Solomon did. So that was a lot longer. If you're a Penguins fan and you waited this long to hear the Penguins, I am so happy you did, and I'm hoping you enjoyed it as well. Thank you to everybody, who stayed through my Penguins rant, and thank you everyone for listening. All right, it's been a while. I got this podcast started up the beginning of the year. It's been a rough year. It's been a tough year. Personal issues, stuff like that. A lot of things have going on, but put my intention out there to the world. I want to be the general manager of an NHL team when I grow up, and I'm going to be. Um, I want to get into this hockey world, and I want to make a difference. I want to show people what I got, and I really want to live around the sport of hockey. Um, and during COVID, you know, I got to have a lot of time to dedicate towards showing people what I know about hockey. And through my TikTok channel, Jacob G71, go follow. Um, I was able to do that. So, you know, I was able to gain a following of people who were entertained and found my content interesting. So, um, yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Um, Thank you again to the Devils, the Islanders, and the Flyers for hearing us out on last Tuesday and inviting us out. We really appreciate, you getting to talk to us, and we can't wait to talk to you guys soon. We'll keep all of our listeners updated on what's going on. And yeah, we really hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or suggestions, we'd love to hear them. We're gonna post on YouTube. We're gonna post some of these clips on TikTok. Please, any suggestions are appreciated. Um, Thank you so much for listening, guys. This has been an amazing first episode, and it's only gonna get better and bigger from here. Yeah. Thank you so much to everyone. This has been phenomenal.